Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today, man, we're going to be taking a look at a news story. I think this is out of Chicago, Illinois. It's out of Illinois in general, but for whatever reason, the Associated Press is saying this out of Chicago. But as you can see from the title of this video, it's a pretty sad and disturbing one. Honestly, it kind of pissed me off when I read this because, just like the backstory of what this judge actually said, what he did, I don't know, it's just disgusting. It's one of those stories where the story itself is just disgusting. It's pretty messed up, right? But finally, it feels like the right outcome actually happened in this entire thing. And I mean, who knows how often that actually happens here? Like here in America, there's just so many judges, so many different counties, so many different districts, right? There's definitely corruption in a lot of places. And I know as Americans, right, like we always like to think, oh, we live in the land of the free, the government can't hurt me. The government can't do anything to me, right? But even not the federal government can be on your side, right? Even in your local area, there can be people who run for governor, who run for mayor, who run for judges, county commissioners, whatever it may be, right? Who are corrupt to the core and they don't intend on following the law. And this is one of those cases, unfortunately, where an Illinois judge made probably one of the worst decisions I've ever seen a judge make. And I can't even imagine the pain that this caused the victim and that family, right? I don't know. I don't understand how this even happened in the first place. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this one. So, an Illinois judge who sparked outrage by reversing a man's R-word conviction involving a 16-year-old girl has been removed from the bench after a judicial oversight body found he circumvented the law and engaged in misconduct. The Illinois Courts Commission removed Adams County Judge Robert Adrian from the bench Friday after it held a 3-day hearing in Chicago in November on a complaint filed against Adrian. Its decision says Adrian, quote, engaged in multiple instances of misconduct and, quote, abused his position of power to indulge his own sense of justice when circumventing the law. The commission could have issued a reprimand, censure, or suspension without pay, but its decision said it had, quote, ample grounds for immediately removing Adrian from the bench in Western Illinois' Adams County. Okay, so, I mean, obviously, you see what the, I guess, initial case was that kind of got everything sparked here, and I feel like anyone with a brain looks at that, right? And they're like, why in fuck would you ever decide to free somebody who was convicted of doing this, right? Now, I want to keep in mind, right? It wasn't like some new evidence came out or something, right? That it freed this guy or exonerated him or exonerated him, whatever, right? That's not what happened here, okay? This guy, he basically did it, right? And everyone had decided he'd done it. He was convicted for doing it. He was found guilty in the court of law. And then for whatever reason, which we're about to, kind of look at even further into here, this judge decided, you know what, fuck it. This guy, I'm going to overturn his conviction and I'm going to basically let this guy back out on the streets. And I mean, obviously this isn't someone who was fucking stealing Dr. Pepper from the gas station. This wasn't a guy stealing a teddy bear for his daughter from the dollar store, you know what I mean? This is somebody who committed an egregious, extreme, violent, disgusting crime against a child nonetheless, okay? Somebody who literally cannot protect or defend themselves. I mean, it's inexcusable, and truthfully, if you wanted my real opinion on what the real justice in this kind of case would be, I literally can't say that shit on YouTube because they will smack me for saying it. So, I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, I think you got a pretty good idea of what I think a pretty good appropriate punishment is for somebody like this. But in October 2021, Adrian had found then 18-year-old Drew Clinton of Taylor, Michigan, guilty of sexually assaulting a 16-year-old girl during a May 2021 graduation party. The State Judicial Inquiry Board filed a complaint against Adrian after the judge threw out Clinton's conviction in January 2022, with the judge saying the 148 days Clinton had spent in jail was punishment enough. The complaint said Adrian had acknowledged he was supposed to impose the mandatory 4-year sentence against Clinton, but he would not send him to prison. Quote, that is not just, Adrian said at the sentencing hearing. According to court transcripts, quote, I will not do that. Clinton was accused of sexually assaulting Cameron Vaughn, The Associated Press does not typically name people who they say were assaulted unless they come forward publicly. So I think that's why this girl was named in this case. But Vaughn told the Associated Press in November, when she was 18, that Adrian's reversal of Clinton's verdict left her, quote, completely shocked but determined to oust the judge. She attended the November commission proceedings with her family, friends, and supporters. After Adrian threw out Clinton's conviction, Vaughn said that the judge told the court, quote, "This is what happens whenever parents allow teenagers to drink alcohol, to swim in pools with their undergarments on," she recounted in an account supported by a court transcript of the July 2022 hearing. Adrian's move sparked outrage in Vaughn's hometown of Quincy, Illinois, and beyond, with the prosecutor in the case saying her, quote, "heart is bleeding for the victim." Vaughn told the Chicago Tribune following Friday's decision removing Adrian that she, quote, "was very happy that the commission could see all the wrong and all the lies that he told the entire time. I'm so unbelievably happy right now. He can't hurt anybody else. He can't ruin anyone else's life." All right, so this is the part that, like, kind of really pissed me off here because, I mean, what a fucking disgusting comment to make. Like, not even just from a judge, but just in a general perspective, right? I want people to really understand what this judge did, okay? So this guy was convicted for sexually assaulting a child who was, from what we understand, provided alcohol at a graduation party, who got drunk, and, you know, this guy assaulted a child in that moment. So I don't think any rational, sane human being would ever actually justify or defend that. Like, yeah, 16-year-old girls, should they be drinking alcohol? No, they shouldn't. But that is the reality of the society we live in. The shit is easily accessible. People can easily get it. People can easily give it to kids. I'm gonna be real. I know a lot of you watching this video, man, you probably drank underage too. I mean, that's just, it's truth be told, that's what kids do. I hate to say that, but that's the reality of the situation. Teenagers party, teenagers drink. That does not make them legitimate rape targets, dude. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, he literally says, this is what happens when parents allow teenagers to drink alcohol and to swim in pools with their undergarments on. So he's blaming a child for getting sexually assaulted by a grown man because as a minor, she was provided alcohol and got drunk, and I guess she was swimming in the pool with her undergarments on. So, I mean, you heard it here first, guys. If you've ever been to the pool and you were in your underwear or you were in a pair of fucking shorts and nothing else or whatever, right? You deserved it if that's what happened to you, according to this judge. Like, I just can't believe that somebody who is supposed to levy justice and is supposed to protect victims in society would say something like that. I mean, just what a disgusting comment to make in general. And for the idiots who are gonna actually defend someone saying something that fucking stupid, imagine you're just driving down the road and you got your purse on you, right? And I guess some gang member or whatever sees the purse in your car and he walks up and blows your fucking head off with a 38 special through your window at a red light. And your 4th grade memories are on the goddamn speedometer now, right? Over a damn purse. I guess we can just shrug it off when your wife gets murdered for her purse because, you know, well, that's what happens when you drive around with valuables in your car and stop at red lights. Like, that's so fucking stupid. Why do we blame victims in this society? I don't even understand how that makes sense. We are supposed to live in a fucking society based around justice, liberty and justice for all. I mean, this is a cornerstone of our entire country. And we have judges that actively try to go against that. And I just don't get that. So he claims apparently that 150 days that this fucking dirtball spent in prison was a punishment enough, you know? I'm not gonna send this child assaulter to prison because I don't think that's fair. Yeah, well, the truth be told, if you ask my opinion, okay, if I was the judge and my opinion mattered, both of you motherfuckers would be sitting in a jail cell forever because I think you deserve it. So I don't know, maybe that's a good thing. I'm not a judge and you're not either anymore, right? So just fucking mind-blowing. Like, the guy was convicted of doing it and we're gonna sit here and pretend like, oh, he spent 5 months in prison, so I mean, he did his time. He did his time for the crime. Like, this poor girl has to live the rest of her life, probably with post-traumatic stress disorder, as a rape victim. Just disgusting, you know what I mean? Just a disgusting, horrible outcome for this girl. And this guy, apparently, you know, it was too mean or it was too unjust to give him 4 fucking years in a prison. If you ask me, the moment you victimize a child, regardless of the circumstances, you should be in jail for life. Like, that should just if you are willing to ruin the entire outcome of a child's life by assaulting them because you can't control your urges or whatever, you don't deserve to walk around freely in society ever again. That's my opinion. So, I mean, the 4 years he should have served, that's not even justice enough to me, in my opinion. But I mean, apparently, fuck it, you got 5 months, you know? So they let him out, and this girl, and I'm assuming her family, her lawyers and whatnot, they filed like an appeal in the court system, and they find out that this guy basically fucking cheated. When reached by phone Friday, Adrian told the Chicago Tribune that the commission's decision to remove him is, quote, totally a miscarriage of justice. I did what was right. I've always told the truth about it. Adams County court records show Clinton's guilty verdict was overturned because prosecutors had failed to meet the burden of proof to prove Clinton guilty. But in Friday's decision, the commission wrote that it found Adrian's claim that he, quote, reversed his guilty finding based on his reconsideration of the evidence and his conclusion that the state had failed to prove its case to be a subterfuge, respondents' attempt to justify the reversal post hoc. Clinton cannot be tried again for the same crime under the Fifth Amendment. A motion to expunge Clinton's record was denied in February 2023. Yeah, so this judge is actually trying to defend himself, saying that this is a miscarriage of justice. Says the judge who genuinely freed a child predator back out onto the streets after 5 months in a case where he was convicted, blamed a 16-year-old girl for getting sexually assaulted by the guy, and then just tried to shrug it off after cheating the system like he did nothing wrong. This guy is a fucking scumbag. I don't care what anybody says, man. This guy is a loser. He's a scumbag. He deserves to live the rest of his life in shame for the shit he's done. And truth be told, I've heard that this is kind of customary. I don't know how customary it is in every case, but I mean, we've obviously now seen that this judge, who was at one time, I assume, pretty respected by the community. His decisions probably mattered a lot, but I would think that he should probably be fully investigated. Like, if he fucked up this case this bad, he butchered the outcome here, then the district attorneys or whatever should look through every single case that this guy has ever presided over, has ever given an opinion on, and they should thoroughly examine every case that he's touched. That way they can see, like, how many times has this guy fucked up the call? How many times has this guy cheated the system? How many times has he circumvented the rules to basically do whatever he wants in his decision making? How many times has he maybe even let off people that he knows or cares about? Things like that, right? They should just go through and do like a full fucking scrub of this guy's whole career history. And if they find any other wrongdoing and whatnot in any other cases, those people should be immediately freed from jail. All of the charges from all of those cases should be permanently expunged off records. They really gotta right this wrong. I know this, as we know it, is just one case, but I mean, this is a guy who, you know how judges are, right? Like, I don't know how it is where you guys live, but here in Ohio, they're like, the judges who've been judges, they're judges for years, you know what I mean? There's been judges in some of the court systems that have been there for decades, you know? So like, these are people who, they have a lot of different calls to make, right? So I mean, if you got a guy like this who's just clearly fucking it up, you got to do something. You got to step back and look through everything and just make sure, I feel like. So anyway, I feel like this was a good outcome. This guy lost his job as a judge. He will probably never be able to be a judge anywhere ever else again, especially after like this really kind of hit the news. Now, the only like not good part of the outcome is, from my understanding, the dude who did all this, right? Like the guy who got convicted and then freed. From my understanding, he is now free for good because, like, obviously in America, you have constitutional rights. Regardless if you've been found guilty or not guilty for crimes, you still have constitutional rights. And according to the Fifth Amendment, you can't, like, double jeopardy. You can't basically, like, if they bring up charges against you in a court of law and, you know, they find you guilty, not guilty, whatever, right? They can't take you back to court after that and then just retry you on the same shit unless they find, like, new groundbreaking evidence that, like, changes the case up or whatever, right? And, like, I don't think that's going to happen in this case, obviously. I mean, this is a sexual assault case that happened at this point almost 3 years ago. There's not really much more evidence I feel like they could collect to recharge him. So, from my understanding, I might be perceiving this wrong, but from what I'm reading, I think this guy was unfortunately freed back onto the streets after 5 months, didn't serve the 4 years, obviously. And then now, because this judge fucked up entirely, you know, they can't retry this guy. They can't just go lock him back up or whatever. And so he might just be walking free, which, if that is the case, and I am interpreting this right, that is by far the worst part of this outcome. And that's a danger to society, genuinely. And it's just fucking sad that that's what happened. But I mean, this judge clearly deserved to lose his job. So With that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch at Sub the Optimus. I'm like acting like I can't remember my outro here, but make sure to check out Optimus down below. Of course, thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, just shaking my head, honestly, at this case, and signing out. And that's a wrap on this video, but a big shout out to my Optimus Nation supporters. You guys are the real MVPs here. Your support with just $10 a month unlocks a treasure trove of exclusive videos, constantly updated, archived live stream VODs, and early access to all new uploads. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.